So I don't even know how to start this video off, but it is a video that I want to make. I want to get all this off my chest, and I want to talk openly and raw about a certain subject. And that subject is trolling. Now, obviously, over the last kind of 24 hours, we have heard the news that Caroline Flack has actually taken her own life. And the finger for that is being pointed at the press and social media and trolls. Now, I had an experience with trolls last year, and I'll go into that. And I just want to put a disclaimer out that I'm not saying in any way that the trolling that I experienced is anything like Caroline Flack's. And my trolling is nothing like probably the next blogger's trolling. Everyone is different, everyone has a different experience, everyone deals with these things in a different way. But I thought it would just be a good idea to get it off my chest. I've been thinking about it since we heard the news of her passing, and I just thought I'm gonna make a video about how I see trolls, what I think, and what goes through my mind when I read negative comments, and not just even about myself, but about other bloggers, other celebrities, other people in this industry, because it's everywhere. It is literally everywhere. So I started blogging in 2016, and it wasn't until the beginning of 2019 that kind of the trolling problems started. Now, I had never experienced anything like this before, and very new to the world of kind of trolling in the scale that this was. Now, if you don't know, I have a brother who is 5 who has Down syndrome, and prior to the trolling that was directed to me, we have had trolls say things about people with Down syndrome, and people have said things about my brother before. We have dealt with that, and obviously that is a hate crime, and we have dealt with that in our own way. Rory knows no different, and us as a family have to deal with that. But it wasn't until the beginning of 2019 that trolling really came to the forefront of kind of my blogging influencer life. And it all started when there was a website, and I'm not sure how long before this the website was kind of active and live, but I received a message on Instagram, and it was, by the way, this gossip website, and I'm not even sure whether I will even mention the name of the website in this video, but this gossip website, there is a thread about you. And a thread is basically just comment after comment after comment after comment, people having discussions about you. It is awful. So I didn't think anything of it, just kind of carried on. And I received another message. By the way, there's a thread about myself. This is from another blogger. There's a thread about myself. There's a thread about you. And it's getting progressively worse. So I thought, do you know what? I'll go and have a look. It's probably a really silly thing to do, and most people wouldn't go over and have a look. And when I first clicked on this website, there was thread after thread after thread about pretty much every blogger, influencer. There was threads on celebrities. It was just vile. It was awful. And some things were kind of, they were tame, and other times it was not. And I found the thread about me, and I clicked on it. And to be completely honest with you, at that moment that I read those comments, I literally wanted to shut down my entire social media. I wanted to close my blog. I wanted to stop it all. And I remember I was sitting at my mum's at the time, and I just thought to myself, like, why do I write? Why do I post? Why do I even post pictures on social media? Why do I even allow myself to be in the public eye? You know, why do I do that? And it was kind of like I was blaming myself for the vile comments that people were making online, and that's not right. I posted on Instagram that I was aware of the thread, and that just riled the trolls up more, and I got more and more and more, and it went on for a couple of months, and it really upset me to start off with. And I think you gradually you get immune to it, and you kind of just expect it. It doesn't come as a surprise anymore, it just happens. And I was getting messages like, oh, by the way, you're on the site, and I was like, I don't want to know, I'm not interested. I then spoke to a few other bloggers about it, and they were also on the site. A few bigger bloggers kind of showed other people this site, and everyone was unaware of it, which in one hand is great. People are aware that you shouldn't troll. The message was getting out there. But on the other hand, we were naming this website and saying you should stop, which then showed people that didn't know about the website a way to troll. So it was a really, really hard time, and we didn't really know what to do. I then decided that I would talk about my experience of trolls, and I ended up speaking to a local newspaper. I spoke to the EDP, and that's quite a big newspaper if like you're in Norfolk, and I spoke to them, and they did quite a big article about my experience of trolls. It was on the front of the newspaper. It was like a big thing, and I thought, do you know what, this is great, I'll get it out there, and you know, I'll say, you know, I don't care, trolls, look at me, I'm doing great, even though you're saying these really nasty things. And I ended up getting even more trolls from that, and from it just being on this gossip website, it then migrated over to being on Facebook. Now, I've had a little bit of hate on Instagram before, not much. I would say I did a little bit on Twitter as well, but I would say that most of it comes from Facebook. And from where this news article was shared, the comments were just horrendous. They ripped me to pieces. They literally did. I remember getting upset because I had people say to me like, she's a scrounger. You know, she just posted pictures online, like, who does she think she is? She needs to get a proper job. And the one comment which always, and it still gets to me now, is it's her fault because she puts herself in the public eye, and you should expect criticism because you put yourself out there. And I got that comment written hundreds of times, and I received messages saying it's your fault. You enabled them to comment on you because you posted you, and they blamed the entire trolling experience on myself. And you sit there and you question yourself and you think, hang on a minute, because I blog and I do this and I do that, does that give people a right to criticise me? And the short answer to that is no, it does not. And it really hurt, like it really hurt. And I ended up getting really quite down about it. And I almost deleted everything. And if it wasn't for like my mum and my husband, I probably would have stopped blogging. I would have deleted everything. I would have just stopped. And obviously I haven't, and I've continued, and now I've started YouTube. But at that moment, it makes you feel worthless, like utterly worthless. And I questioned everything, absolutely everything. I mean, the trolls were commenting on where I live. I mean, they even shared like the exact location of where I live on this website. And I still to this day don't know how they know that. I don't obviously put that on Instagram. That's a private thing. But these trolls, they knew. And they were saying, well, she can't live there because she's common. She's, you know, I was apparently known as the most council estate blogger on Instagram at one point. And that is what they called me. And I was told that I need to improve my photos on Instagram. I need to clean my children, and I need to bath my children because my scruffy children, they make my photos look scruffy. And I think when they start commenting about, you know, if you're a parent, they start commenting about your kids, and they start commenting about like things that you like really personal things. And these trolls will say that it is criticism, and they will go, but we're criticising and we're giving you constructive criticism. But that's not constructive criticism. And, you know, at the end of the day, these are things that people would not say to your face. And they think that because they're behind a screen, it makes it easier. And they think that their one little comment will not make any difference. And trust me, when every single person says that one little comment won't make any difference, it then ends up being thousands of comments, and it ends up being that you doubt everything, you doubt yourself. And obviously 2019 for me was a tough year anyway, and I had just had one of my best years blogging, and after 2 years I was kind of on this high with blogging, and it come 2019 and I just thought, I'm rubbish at this. They were saying that I'm not a good mum. They were criticising like my little brother with Down syndrome. They were really, really going for it. And I think that is where we have this issue now. People think it's okay to comment because they're behind a screen, and that's not how it is. That's just not right. And there needs to be some kind of legislation, law. I think social media needs to crack down on it like a lot. I think the press needs to be held accountable for as well, because they release these clickbait stories, they post them onto social media, and the comments are a free-for-all. And obviously they can kind of entice there to be a bit more trolling by their headline. They want a catchy headline, they want to have your attention, but some people only just read the headline and they comment from that. But I think more people need to be held accountable for the comments that they make. People need to realise that just because, even if you're not a blogger, if you're a celebrity, if you're whoever, just because you're in the public eye does not mean that you are there to be criticised, to be bullied, to be commented on in every aspect of your life, because it literally tears you down. It wears you down and it breaks your heart, especially if it's something that you've worked so incredibly hard for. And I've seen comments from this gossip website quite recently that say they do not allow threads on people who have mental health issues, which, considering they were discussing mine on there, I think that's a lie. And I think the website just needs to delete itself, to be completely honest. And people go on the website, they comment and they think, oh, do you know what, this is quite fun. And tearing someone down for your own benefit is not fun at all. And people shouldn't see it that way. People need to just stop. I think there needs to be something in place that protects people from it. Now, obviously, Caroline Flack had it 1,000 times worse, and I know everyone makes mistakes, and everyone does it at some point in their life. There's going to be things that you would have done years ago that maybe now you're a more high profile person, you're in the public eye more, like whatever it is that you did, and you're not even that person anymore, but because you are there and people know who you are, they think that they can go back to that person that you were and comment on it and criticise, and that is not the case. And I think that's basically what happened to her. I think she made one mistake and people just ripped her to shreds about it. And the press, I think they thrived off it. I think they thought, you know, we can make this a story and this a story and this a story, and we can make money off of this. And, you know, who cares? She'll get over it in 6 months. Well, she didn't, did she? And I think, you know, Susan from Nottingham, you know, would have made a comment on a Facebook thread saying it, or like one of her pictures on Facebook, whatever, and made a nasty comment and thought, oh, she won't see it. And that nasty comment then made more people comment, and you've then got a hate thread, and you've then got more trolls, and then that person comments on another thing and another thing and another thing, and then you've end up with like online bullying essentially. And I think that's basically what happened. I think it snowballed to the point where she just could not take any more. And when I was trolled and it was bad, I would sit there and I would go, I do not understand how celebrities do it. I do not understand how they live their life every single day with this kind of like trolling, or what they would class as constructive criticism. I do not understand, and I would not be able to do it. It's the same with someone like Mrs. Hinch, for example. She speaks quite openly about it, and it really hurts her, and I honestly do not know how she does it. I just feel like there needs to be more said about trolls, about the press who enable the trolls. I think more needs to be said about it, and it needs to stop. It really does need to stop. It's not fun. It's not a game. It's people's lives, and it quite clearly can ruin people's lives. And I think people just see it as a comment, and it's not just a comment. It really, really hurts. And I just hope people learn from this that it's not fun and games at all. And that it isn't going to take anyone else to do anything like Caroline Flack did, for people like the government, for the press, for everyone to see that something needs to change. Obviously, talking about trolls and mental health is a tough subject, and I know there's a lot of celebrities and bloggers and influencers and whoever else that go through it and they don't talk about it. And I know that some people, they take it really badly, and I know some people that can just brush it off and get on with it. And it's all personal, and we can all take these things as we want to. But I just thought I would talk quite openly about like my experience and what I thought, in the hope that it just stops one person commenting, just because I feel like it needs to stop. And it's really devastating that it potentially could have taken Caroline Flack to take her own life, for people to realise that even though you're online, it still hurts. Even though you're behind a screen, it doesn't make it okay. And like Caroline Flack said, that if you can be anything in this world, just be nice. And that is where I'm going to just end this video, because I feel like I've spoken enough about it now. And I do not want to ruin my day worrying about trolls and just thinking about it. I just want people to realise and to open their eyes on the reality of it. And yeah, my thoughts go out to all of Caroline's family and friends, and I just hope that something will be done about it now. But I'll see you in my next video, guys, and remember to like and subscribe if you like this video or any of my other videos, and I'll see you in my next video. Okay, bye.